Good day, everybody. Welcome to Mist Valley Gaming. My name is Dread. I am your Mist Lord, and we're here to talk about the giant patch that Larian Studios just dropped for Baldur's Gate 3. And I thought if you're interested in going through it with me, that's what we'll do. So I'm going to read through the patch notes and kind of make some comments here, and we're just going to talk about the things that have been done. So it says, hello everyone. Today we're releasing our first patch, our first major patch for Baldur's Gate 3, which addresses over 1,000 bugs, balancing and flow issues, and much, much more. Patch 1 is too big for our usual patch notes due to Steam's character limit. So you have full patch notes over at a link that they provide. So in the patch notes, they provide a link to the full patch notes. It says, what can you expect from this update? By the way, this is patch live, patch number 1 now live. It is version number 4.1.1366943.8 if you're interested. What can you expect for this update? We've eliminated issues like NPCs who sometimes spot you when you really shouldn't be able to. Floating items like mugs and newspapers that should abide the laws of gravity. And the conclusion to Shadowheart's romance scene not triggering for some players, amongst other things. With expansive systems come many unknowns. Our support team continues to work with you to relay any issues to us. Please don't hesitate to reach out with further reports. Patch 1 also tackles a few visual bugs and sprinkles on more post-launch polish. We're bringing back Short King Summer with better kissing contact for short races. And they have a little video that shows that, which shows a larger character bending down to one knee to kiss a smaller character. Makes sense. You won't be waiting long for patch 2, which is right around the corner. This update will feature significant performance improvements. We'll go into more detail about that closer to its release. In the meantime, did you know that collectively you have played over 200 million hours of Baldur's Gate 3 since launch. That is over 22,000 years of it being played. My applause to the players, people who have bought, played, and enjoyed Baldur's Gate 3, and of course, my bow to Larian Studios, who are the king of all things RPG. Says the most popular class choice is currently Paladin, or Paladine if you prefer, or maybe you pronounce it some other way like Pumpernickel, I don't know. Followed by Sorcerer. While the award for least popular class goes to Cleric. I'm a little surprised by that. Cleric is a great support player that also could be a frontline basher and smasher as well. Human and elf characters reign supreme in Faerun, followed swiftly and unsurprisingly by half-elf. Makes sense. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we find Dwarf, Gnome, Githyanki, and Half. We get it? They're not exactly the most ethereal beauties of the realms, but they'd still form a rad metal band. For now, as we focus on fixes, thank you for playing Baldur's Gate 3 and continuing to share this adventure with us. So, highlights. So, a certain character will no longer leave you stranded in a certain place. I'm not going to get into the absolute details on this because I don't want to break spoilers for people who haven't played the whole game. Starting to use a boat to go to that place sends that character to camp. And then, sending that same character to camp and then using another character to make the journey will no longer block you from progressing, okay? Fixed a bug where listening in on a conversation as player 1 and then exiting the dialogue prematurely can result in you not being able to interact with anything anymore, ever. Wow. Fix an issue causing the reaction UI to not work correctly and potentially block progress in combat if you save the game in the middle of a reaction. Fix the loot in corpses sometimes not appearing in multiplayer until an object or item is dragged onto the corpse. I don't play multiplayer, no idea. Fixed a bug causing you to get a game over screen after helping down party members. That's awkward. Fixed the Helm of Arcane Acuity, crashing the game. Condition is now capped to 7 stacks. Attacking an NPC during a dialogue after being downed will now get you arrested rather than giving you game over screen. What? Wow. What a way to end your game. Fix an issue where characters could get stuck in an infinite falling loop. Well, that's cool. Fix an issue with Marcus being resurrected by players hitting him with a dual-wield attack. Second hit will no longer revive him. Okay, so Will should now be able to talk about something really important and no longer have an exclamation point above his head without having anything new to say. Will should now be able to tell you what to do next if someone in particular is killed, and he has an exclamation mark above his head. Somebody, blank, will no longer address non-tadpole characters as true souls at a certain location. Shadowheart should more easily follow up on our proposed romance moments in Act 3. So they fixed conditions being updated before a save game finished loading. This, for instance, caused a certain character to have 0 hit points if loading an autosave created when entering the lower city, preventing you from progressing through related quests. Fix Karlach not going to camp after something happens if your party was full. Jaheira and Mint's paths are tied after you save Mint's. So if you've forsaken him, Jaheira should now follow after him. So they're kind of tied together. Okay. Fix bug that made it possible to break up with Asterion without meaning to. Oops. The Drider will now recognize that you're with him when reaching Moonrise Towers if you start following him in the middle of his route. Art Colag and Fist Gelart no longer get so scared of bears and spiders at their quest break. Bears and spiders are things, oh my, yes. The Zentarum will now more consistently use the mines after allies have fallen back to safety. They will no longer actively try to blow themselves up by checking active mines. Minthara no longer references irrelevant topics or passes judgment on companions more than once. Fix the dialogue flow when dating Minthara. Fix Minthara's body disappearing at camp after you decide to do something. You can no longer recruit both Halsin and Minthara to camp in the same playthrough. That makes sense. Change several precise map markers into more appropriate general area markers. Just for investigating somebody, investigating something, and finding somebody somewhere. Again, no spoilers. Made it less ambiguous that you're starting a romance with Gale when choosing certain dialogue options. During Gale's spell teaching scene, you now have the option to picture a future with Gale that falls somewhere in between kissing him and kicking him in the head. Alright. When confronting somebody in a certain place, somebody will no longer target his own pillars or allies with a spell. The certain quest should now receive a proper update about a certain someone's whereabouts regardless of the way the quest started. Fix an issue where using non-lethal attacks on Anti-Ethel would still kill her. You now opt to respect the privacy of the bugbear and the ogre outside the blighted village. Again, don't get in the way of real love. Okay, we're not going to talk about that. Fixed a level design quirk that would allow you to use a spell like Misty Step or Dimension Door to skip part of the main quest sequence in Act 2. Fix an issue where Baldur's mouth headline about a cute cat could get accidentally overwritten. If Will is not recruited, he will now recognize Avatar Karlach and initiate dialogue. Made sure a certain character could always interrupt Will no matter where he runs off to. Throwing a single coin at the beggars will no longer damage them. Well, you throw that pretty hard. If Dolly curses you with the a clown in town condition for making her angry while inside the moon lantern, she will now paint your face. That'll teach you. And the Zentaran at the Gauntlet camp should now be more tolerant if you approach them. You have a balance section. Made gold bounties more generous in several containers across the game. Increase players' hit point bonus in Explorer mode from plus 50% to plus 100%. Fix the free cast Tadpole power to properly reset on long rest. It was creating infinite spell slots and sorcery points for sorcerers. Oh, dang. Arcane Trickster's Mage Hand Leisure Domain now does not expire until destroyed. It does not lose invisibility on long rest. You can no longer have multiple Mage Hands active at the same time. Oh, so many Mage Hands doing so many things to you. Oh, okay, that's creepy. For sexy time. Anyways, the shield reaction can no longer be used while silenced. Fixed not being able to create 5th level spell slots from sorcery points. College of Lore bards can now pick which additional skill proficiency they receive. Bards that are already of the College of Lore need to respec to get this choice. Is my bard College of Lore? I don't even remember. I'll have to go check that. Made sure that proper spell DC is applied during multicast classing. Added spells to Bard's Magic Secrets feature. Vanishing Smite, Animate Dead, Crusader's Mantle, Hunger of Hadar, Revivify, Sleet Storm, Rage of Enfeeblement, Web, Entangle, Hunter's Mark, Sanctuary, Thunderous Smite, Bone Chill, Eldritch Morphic Blast, Firebolt, Ray of Frost, Sacred Flame. The Club of Hill Giant Strength now increases strength to 19 and not some puny 15. That's weird. Fixed a bug with ranged enemies reapplying Hunter's Mark constantly even when not needed. The Warlock's Pact of the Chain summons now get to use their extra attack more than once. Fixed NPCs sometimes spotting you even if they're not supposed to be able to. Fixed an issue where multiple rolls trigger if you walk along the edge of a cone of vision. Dance Macabre ghouls will no longer kill you when you long rest. That's always nice. If you make a sex... Let's try that one again, shall we? Just give me 1 second. You make a successful saving throw against a poison. You will now gain immunity to that specific poison for 2 turns. A certain someone now deals more damage in Technician mode. Alright, we'll talk about that. Mean Locks are now immune to the Shadow Curse. They've increased the HP and AC of somebody. Somebody can no longer cast a reaction spell when silenced. They helped Minthara remember how to use her weapons. Fixed enemies target you from above through the ceiling. They fixed enemies targeting you from above through the ceiling in a certain place. Enable trespass warnings for any additional characters that trespass after the first, instead of immediately triggering combat. Fixed NPCs attacking outside of their turn when combat starts during forced turn-based mode. Got a usability section here. Fixed dialogue notifications like approval ratings and roll results disappearing too early. The launcher will now remember whether you chose DX11 or Vulcan. Always did for me. Fix the incorrect amount of gold being displayed in all UI menus if the amount is too large. Fix spells like Hex, randomly shifting in order, causing you to misclick if you're moving and clicking around intuitively. Fix players who are merely listening in on a dialogue being able to skip lines. Only the speaker can do this now. Fix an issue with camp supplies values for the second local player in multiplayer if they join during the game. Long rests will, alas, no longer cost nothing. You no longer interact with another player's inventory. For example, send multi-selected items or use their items if their inventory is locked. Fix the critical hit text sometimes not appearing. Improve the performance of the minimap when new map markers appear or old ones disappear. Dyed armor will now appear in the right color in the level up screen. Very cool. And Halsin's wild-shaped tooltip will now correctly call him a cave bear. Got some visual fixes. Fix the modesty filter not working on Dragonborns. Oh! Fixed earring on tiefling female strong character models. Added a controller style option which allows you to override which controller's icons are displayed. Fixed an issue causing the clown makeup to not only not appear on Lae'zel's face when applied, but also remove her characteristic tattoos and makeup. Also, it's just tattoo and makeup remover is all it is. Invoke Duplicity now works as an identical copy of your character, and they're not naked. Oh my. Fixed a leather helmet, a metal helmet, and the helmet of smiting floating on some character models. Alright, having something happen to you will now not rot your teeth anymore. And Lae'zel's underwear will now more accurately reflect the color of dyes used on it. Hey, Lae'zel, can I have your underwear? I need to dye it. You would like, just go on a diet. Leave my underwear alone. That's weird. Cinematic scenes. Made fixes to kissing scenes with the origin characters across the game. For example, to make sure physical contact is made properly, to account for shorter races, and to account for uneven ground. Made sure somebody's armor is all correct in the scene, a certain scene. Fixed items like mugs and newspapers floating in the air during dialogues. Characters holding them were correctly hidden, but the items themselves weren't. Ghosties, be gone! Fixed Scratch's position so you can try to get the ball out of his mouth. Whether he'll let you have it is another matter. Improved Volo's aim during a certain scene. Lae'zel no longer floats up and down during your dialogue where you discuss dating. Thought she was just like all aflutter. Made sure Will has room to do something no matter where you're camping. Fixed some cameras that couldn't contain the force that is Astarion in dialogue with him at night at camp. Also tweaked and added facial expressions where needed. So the something character you see through the telescope in the Emerald Grove will no longer remain blurry after you pass the perception check. Yeah, that would help. Fix the camera position where Karlach hugs you for the first time after getting her upgrade, and fix the mind flare not appearing in the cinematic dialogue with somebody if you manually trigger the dialogue. You got a loot and trade section, and we're almost through this here. Traders who stock dyes now also stock dye remover. Lady Esther is available to trade with after you've completed her quests. Fish vendors now have more fish to sell. That new bait must be doing the trick. Popper, the kobold at the circus, now sells more oddities. Oh, we get a circus at Baldur's Gate? Oh, sweet. Lady Janeth will now have artsy items to trade. Skeletons around the Cellunite outpost no longer have fresh food in their inventory. And Losi's portrait is now reachable, Chief. A little bit of miscellaneous stuff. Updated the credits, reformatted them into 2 neater columns. Digital Deluxe DLCs, Divinity Original Sin 2 Bard songs are now also granted to companions as well, instead of just to the player avatars. All the extra Bard songs from the Deluxe Edition will now be available even if you use Losi's Loot of the Merryweather Bard from the Deluxe Edition. DLC rewards no longer get removed below to save with that DLC not installed. Any rewards that were removed due to this will be restored. Steel Watcher idle sounds no longer take up streaming bandwidth. You no longer climb the shambling mound, and optimize the walking bounds of Glut so that it navigates the world and the battlefield better. I'm going to rate these patch notes up. We've had 4,724 of us now rate those up on Steam. That is pretty damn good, people, and this is just the brief notes. There's much more there. But it's pretty amazing that they addressed over 1,000 bugs, balancing of flow issues, and so much more. That is amazing. Larian Studios is doing a bang-up job with this. Don't be misled by negative articles out there that bash Larian Studios and bash Baldur's Gate 3. I really believe that there are some companies out there who are petrified by how good this game is and are really worried that their games are going to be expected to be this good. And you know what? You don't have to expect all the other games to be as good as this, even in this genre. But you should expect people to actually pay attention to you and what you want. You should expect companies to make sure they deliver a full game and are not making you pay for more and more and more afterwards, unless that's what you actually signed up for and knew it and wanted that. And you should have a company that actually cares about you and their product. And if you would all feel like that's not true of the game you're looking at, don't fucking get it. Don't do it. Don't support someone who you don't feel is doing that to you. It's not right, and it undermines the gaming industry. Also, there's just people out there who maybe don't like Larian Studios, don't like Baldur's Gate 3, don't like RPGs, or who just want to get a negative opinion out there to get views. Pay no attention to those people. Now, if you play the game and you have some negative views of it, I get it. Not everything that I've done in this game I agree with, or everything I've seen in this game do I enjoy or like or think could it need more tweaking or fixing. But you have to step back sometimes and look at the overall picture. A beautiful game, a finished game, a game you're not going to have to continue to pay for to get more stuff in it, and a game that is a love letter to the fans of D&D and RPGs in general. And no, it's not perfect. But damn it, people, step back and look at the big picture. Is it a damn good game? If the answer is yes, then yes, you can have negative thoughts about certain aspects of the game. But don't go overboard in voicing those and tearing apart the company or the game for a few small things, okay? That's all I'm saying. Just keep balance, people. Keep it in balance. So these are the Baldur's Gate 3 patch notes. My name is Dread from Mist Valley Gaming. I game on Baldur's Gate 3. I've got several characters here. We're going to have several more. We're having fun going through this game. It is a blast. Hope you join me for that. I've also got Mist Valley Skyrim, where I do the same sort of thing with Skyrim games. And I've got Mist Valley Discord, where you can join up and watch all my videos, talk to me and my the other people who are a part of the Discord. and learn all about what I'm up to every day because I'm posting a lot of stuff there. Everybody, take care. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.